This is reportedly the end for these two players in Toronto. Hello, my name is Nick Barton. I'm a hockey reporter from Toronto who's covered the Marlies for the last 3 seasons. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. If you really enjoy this hockey content all throughout free agency today, make sure to hit the subscription button down below. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers very soon. So again, if you do enjoy the video, hit the subscription button. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video where I tell you about one player the Maple Leafs reportedly will sign once free agency opens up. Now let's talk about the two players who are reportedly testing the open market in just a few hours for free agency. Now these two players specifically have gone back and forth about whether or not they would remain in Toronto. One of them, when they had their exit interviews and their exit media availability, it didn't seem like there was a return in sight, but then on a radio show a few days later, a few weeks later, he seemed more open to the idea of returning. The other one is a fan favorite who would love to come back, but at this point it doesn't look like a return will be possible. From Chris Johnston, it doesn't appear likely that Luke Schenn will be returning to the Leafs. There was mutual interest in continuing the relationship, but it's believed the level of interest in the veteran defenseman has produced a hefty offer elsewhere. Now this seemed like it was still a possibility now, and even when he was done with the Maple Leafs when their season ended a few months ago, it really seemed like if he really wanted to return to the Maple Leafs and if the Maple Leafs wanted to bring him back, it would have to be at a number that works for both of them. And at this point, at Luke Schenn's age, it's just worth it for him to make the money and the most money he can before he can retire. And that likely looks like, at this point, from Chris Johnston, that it won't be with the Maple Leafs. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you think this was a big loss for Toronto? Do you think he was an important part and an integral part of this team with winning a Stanley Cup in Tampa? Put it in the comment section down below. Now though, to the other player who's reportedly leaving the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this guy is from here. From Pierre LeBrun, hearing that Ryan O'Reilly is headed to the UFA market. Leafs had interest right to the end, but the UFA center is going to market. Now again, similar to Schenn, O'Reilly's getting up there in age. He's slowing down, although he still can play in the top 6, likely on a wing or a bottom 6, likely third line center role. It never really felt like he was going to return to the Maple Leafs because of really one big reason, and that's money. And it looks like that's what's going to happen here, is it's all going to come down to money. He's likely going to want some term to take him into what could be his retirement. And at the end of the day, are the Maple Leafs going to offer up more than 5.5 mil for the forward? It doesn't look like it, and I didn't think they would. It was too much, and at the end of the day, it looks like O'Reilly is going to test free agency, and so he should, because he's going to make a lot of money, and that is the key for him in likely what are the final years of his NHL career. Now, this is disappointing for a lot of Leafs fans because these two guys are really favorites in Toronto. I mean, you look at a guy like Luke Schenn, who was drafted here, he left the organization, was traded, and then eventually came back, and the reunion was awesome. I mean, you look at how happy he was in every media interview. That's going to be a big loss, I think, to the room and to the fans. And you look at Ryan O'Reilly, who's won a Stanley Cup, he's won the Selke, he's won every big thing you can win during the playoffs in the Stanley Cup final, and to have him go as well, you're losing another big leader. And what are the Maple Leafs going to do to replace that? That's going to be the big thing when 12 p.m. comes in Toronto, is who are they going to replace him with? Who are they going to replace Schenn with? Who are they going to replace a lot of these guys with? But it looks like at this point in time, they've already got one guy circled on their list who is going to sign with Toronto once free agency opens up. First, from David Pagnotta, expecting a multi-year deal for Reeves and the Maple Leafs tomorrow. And then from Darren Dreger above it, based on the level of interest, it's believed the target is 3 years. I don't believe the Wild were willing to do more than 2 years. Expect the AAV to come in around 1.3 mil. He will be a fan favorite in Toronto. Now, 3 years for Ryan Reaves in Toronto is interesting. There's no doubt that he will be a fan favorite in Toronto, but the fans are going to need to warm up to him, because at the end of the day, he is really, to me, at least to me, not what the Maple Leafs need at this point in time. Obviously, toughness is going to be great, and losing Luke Schenn, you're going to need some toughness. But at the end of the day, too, Ryan Reaves isn't going to get you the points in the playoffs, which the Maple Leafs needed. They really, when they faced Florida, they didn't score more than 2 goals in the second round in each game. And, you know, that is a problem. And when the Maple Leafs don't have depth scoring, when their depth players aren't putting the puck in the back of the net and leaving it all to the top 6 guys, it's really tough for a team to have success in the playoffs. He is not a scorer. He is a enforcer. He is really good at that, and that's a good thing. He can really protect a lot of the big name players on Toronto, but at the end of the day, was it worth it? It's going to be interesting to see and find out as the season gets started and the season gets rolling. An AAV of $1.3 million isn't the worst, but it also isn't the best. I think Toronto and a lot of Maple Leafs fans would have liked to see him get locked up at least $1 million or below that. And with him coming in at $1.3 million, it is an extra $300,000, and this contract is likely still variable at the end of the day. And that's what really, to me at least, matters, because if Ryan Reaves isn't putting up the numbers and he's not really contributing offensively, that's going to hinder the Maple Leafs, and that's going to be a problem. But we're going to have to wait and see again. There's no point in really speculating what he could be in Toronto because he hasn't played yet. So again, $1.3 million AAV, it looks like for 3 years in Toronto. That one's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, that is it for this video on the 2 UFAs that are likely leaving Toronto and the one that could be coming. Let me know what you think about all these 3 UFAs and whether they leave or whether they stay. Put it all in the comment section down below. But that is going to be it for this video. There will be more when free agency opens up. If there's any news before that, I'll have a video on it. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like. If you really enjoy it, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, whenever that might be.